Now you're thinking, I want to save up for a house. How are you going to save up for a house if a portion of your salary is going towards a different mortgage for your mum and bills? And how he was so scared potatoes came out of his butt. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today again we are going to react to Asian parents' stories because it is that time of the week. So the very first one is Asian mom making my house hunt more stressful than it already is. House hunting alone, with or without Asian parents, are already super stressful. It's one of the most stressful things in a human's life. So adding an Asian parent is just, it's not needed. No one needs it. My parents divorced 10 years ago when I was 19 years old. Dad, alcoholic and gambling addict. Mum never worked a day in her life and made excuses possible not to work. They had some legal issues over who would keep the house, as essentially my dad bought the house but my mum wanted to keep it as the kids were staying with her. The bank wouldn't put up the loan into her name, so she had no income and still didn't want to find a job. So she put mine and my middle sister's name onto the loan. Okay, so this already, I can tell, is going to be a big problem because eventually you're going to grow up and, as the title suggests, she's trying to buy a house. At that time, I was younger and had no idea the implications of this, nor did she explain anything to me. She's never going to explain anything to you because either she knows or she doesn't know. Because another thing is, for example, I wouldn't expect my mum to know about housing. I do wonder whether that is something that she just doesn't understand. She might have never even thought about that could be a, I don't want to say problem, but at the same time. She just asked for my payslip and document. I was working at fast food at the time and barely saving any money, but every time I moved jobs, I got a pay rise. She would ask for more money to contribute to the mortgage. In her words, when I die, this house will go to you and your sisters anyway. Oh, the famous words. I moved out with my partner 2 years ago and she demanded I help with the bills at home, which I firmly said no. Well done. That is something I did not do and I had to learn it the hard way. But honestly, really good that you said no to this. So the main breadwinner of the house for my mum is my younger sister, 22. Oh gosh. Younger sister works and studies full-time while contributing most of her salary to the mortgage and bills. I cannot imagine what your sister's going through. This is not something to... The fact she's working full-time and have a job and contributing the majority of her salary to a mortgage and bills, all while the mum refuses to find a job because she's too tired to work. So this is, now looking back, out of this situation, my biggest thing would be, if your mum really loved you, would she put you in that situation? Because as much as I want to say love your parents, love your mum, she might not understand the implications of a mortgage, putting their kid's name, her kid's name, onto the house. She can physically see her daughter going to work, studying full-time, and then on top of everything contributing, putting money into the mortgage, into the bills that she could easily, should have saved for her future. And that's not okay. You're shortchanging your child's life. She needs to know how to manage money. She needs to have the feeling of the amount of effort she's putting out there is being rewarded in one way or another. Now, paying it all in cash in a mortgage and bills, it's not your house at the end of the day. It's not something that she's chosen to do. I'm looking to purchase my first property with my partner and only realizing now that I can't get approved for a big loan due to my mum's house that's attached to my name. Both of us don't qualify for the government's first time buyer's grant, as this is technically not my first home. Oh gosh. So this means we'll be paying an additional 30k on top of the deposit. This is a whole nother thing that you're gonna have to... It is what it is. There's no going back now. In my head at the moment is try and find a way to be okay about it. It's harsh, it's not right. But yeah, it's one of these things that you just have to. The past few weeks have been calls back and forth asking her to remove my name from the loan on her house so my partner and I can at least get a bigger loan. My mum keeps telling me not to rush and I'm stressing her out. And that I'm stressing her out? From what? She's not doing anything. Because removing my name from her loans comes with additional costs that she will have to cover. This is the life that you chose for yourself. At the end of the day, you chose to have this, you chose to have kids. You chose to not work. It's not an excuse. You can't just pawn it off to your kids. She also doesn't want to put younger sister name onto the loan because the younger sisters will lose her first home buyer's grant. Wait, okay, so she knows about it. So does that mean at the moment that your name is on the house but your younger sister is paying every single month towards the mortgage? And also, if your mom's not working, where is she kind of covering the rest of it if she is? I told her that she's basically already taken mine and my partner's grant away by putting my name onto her loan without telling me the implication, and she replied it had to be done, there was no other choice, or else I'll lose the house. Funnily, that was her only option rather than finding a part-time job. It's just not okay. Now as an adult, I don't care what excuses you have. Every single person should be able to find a job. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not difficult to find a job, because I've been into a situation where it was difficult for me to find a job. Did I find a job at the end? Yes, I did. However, it was not easy, but if it's been years and years and years and they're clearly not trying, something needs to be done. You are responsible of your own life. You chose to have kids, you chose to be in a marriage, you chose to not have a job. That is your responsibility. I still think that every parent should go out and take their own responsibility for their life, regardless whether they have kids or not, regardless how old their kids are. It's so important, because it's not fair to bring a kid into this world and then to expect them to look after you or financially look after you. How parents are okay with all of this is just beyond my understanding. So back to the story. Keeping the house has always been a show for her. She posts a ton of pics of the house on Facebook every day for her friends and brags about how she doesn't have to work because her daughters help her. No. Okay. In that case, she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. Cut her off, because what's happening here is that she clearly sees it more of a pride. Look how well I am doing. I can get my daughters to pay for my living costs for this lifestyle. This is not right. This is so wrong. I do know Asian parents have this sense of pride. They cannot drop it. There is no reason for her to need such a big house, and she obviously can't keep up with the maintenance, with the overgrown gardens and mess inside. Just needed to run your heart out. That is perfectly fine. Okay, clearly the logic in my head, which I think for any other parent out there would agree, that it is time to downsize your house. If you don't need it, sell it, get a small little bungalow, get a small little flat and live there. Her sister, she needs to get her sister out. Her sister can't be doing this. You're setting yourself up for a financial burden. That can be detrimental. If you can help out your younger sister in moving out, then sell the house. There might be a complication on who's on the title, but having a mortgage in your name, you should have some right on what to do with it. I don't know about properties. In the ideal world, yes. The problem is she's gonna need to have that conversation with her mum, which normally doesn't really go well, especially if it's tied to their pride. They're not gonna let that go. So as she actually responded, this was part of the conversation we've been having. She's absolutely refusing to sell the house. Yes, I knew it. And the younger sister insists she's fine to help with the mortgage and says she doesn't care about losing her grant. I assume it's because she's still young and not in the stage where she's wanting to move out or look for her own place. Mom refused to sell the house as moving house is a headache. Right, a couple of things for the younger sister. Either, and I don't want to say this because it's not very nice, but she might already be manipulated. She's probably in it a bit too deep. And it's not saying that there's no hope for her, but she's going to have to figure it out herself. When she's moved out, when she has a partner, when she has something to compare to, that's when I found out, she's gonna realize that something is not adding up. But at this very moment, if that is what she wants to do and she doesn't mind doing it, then I would still pull her aside and just lay out her life in front of her. So at this moment, yes, you are fine. You are in uni, you're studying, you're working, you're having money, and you don't mind putting all that money into mortgage, loans, bills and all of that stuff. Great. Okay, next thing, when you move out, how are you going to get the money if you don't have the money with you? It's all being paid into the mortgage, into the bills. Where are you going to get that money from? Okay, let's say if you do have the money, you've moved out with your partner, whoever, or by yourself. Great. Now you're thinking, I want to save up for a house. How are you going to save up for a house if a portion of your salary is going towards a different mortgage for your mum and bills? By all means, you can tell me, yes, you can still do both. Of course you can, but why? Why would you delay your chance of getting your own home for yourself that you worked really hard for because someone is too lazy to work? This is very close to me, just because I've literally just got myself out of this situation. Please, if you're watching this, please get yourself out of this situation. It is really not good. It will mess with your mental health, and not only that, when you do get out of it, I promise you it is not a clean cut. It's not easy, but you need to put your life first. You're at that age, 20, in your 20s, that's where your life starts. Enjoy your life. Next story. I worked so hard, as in that is literally just the title. I had a test coming up and I really burnt the midnight oil. I stayed awake till 3 in the night, kept studying throughout the day, and now my marks come and they're really good. Oh wow. Congrats. I really thought it was going to go the other way around. My mum's first reaction when she sees the topper marks, wow, he is so smart, parent must be so proud. Then she saw my marks, which is just 5 sets below the toppers, and she says, if he can get 80, why couldn't you? Next time study more and get 90. It's so depressing to hear that. All my efforts were put down just like that. First of all, I'm really sorry you have to go through that. That is... Talking about losing motivation. This was my childhood growing up. We had school homework and we had home homework. Home homework, if I had one question wrong, if we had 100 questions, if I had one question wrong, silly mistake, just a question wrong, guess what happens? Rubs everything out, you're gonna have to redo it again. You're gonna redo it until you get everything right. Guess what came out of that? I started memorizing the answers, because like expectations, people are gonna start finding shortcuts, because it's not gonna do you any good. This mom needs to stop, because otherwise their kid, they got a really good kid, wants to work hard, wants to get good grades. Honestly, at this point, I would just say focus on what you want to do and see what other people said. I'm so sorry to hear this. You've done amazingly. That is great. Responded. Thanks a lot. Means a lot to me. It wasn't easy staying awake whole night. It's not. I think you need to appreciate what you've done, and that is the most you could do for yourself. Whether you get 70, whether you get 80, 90, 40, you do what's best for you. That's one thing I've learned from being a teacher, is every student has their own record to break. Just because a kid has got 90%, if his average was 100%, I will go and have a word with him. Same thing, if a kid has 20%, but his average grade was 0, I will go and say, well done. Like, you've improved, you've done really well. Another person said, I know how you feel. There's a problem with Asian societies nowadays. There's a problem with Asian society, and I wonder the true meaning of having kids. I hate to say it, but that's my honest truth. Sometimes I feel like a lot of Asian families have pushed kids out that really should not be pushing any kids out. Mine were the same. I studied so hard and got all B's in my A levels, important qualifications in the UK if you're not from here, and she said she thought I would have gotten A's. Just know that this random internet stranger is proud of you. You put the work in and got a high mark that you earned by yourself. You should be proud, even if they're not. Well done for doing so well. Absolutely. They expect you to come home with A's, A stars. If there's an A triple star, they'll be expecting you to come home with that. It's so narrow-minded in the way they think. They don't think about any other possible reasons that this might not be for their kids, why their kids might not be getting A triple stars, why it might physically not be possible for the kid to get A stars or A's. Another example is my English wasn't great growing up. Like, I was always the one with the extra lessons for English, readings, writing, everything. And it was the butt of the joke in the family for the longest. I will tell you now why it was so bad. Because when I was in uni, I had a dyslexic test, and turns out I am pretty darn dyslexic. So I spent my whole childhood thinking that I am rubbish at English. I'm not saying I'm great, okay? I'm not saying I'm great. Humor in tragedy stories from my childhood. Oh, I don't really like this, okay? When my Asian dad caught me watching porn, oh my God, I can't imagine that. When my Asian dad caught me watching porn, mind you, he had a library of porn in plain view he kept on a bookshelf. in a living room. He screamed, "You like porno." Asian parents with porn, I don't even know how to respond to that. I don't think that was ever a link. Those two things should not be, it should not be crossing. Not sure if it was his heavy accent, but this made me laugh uncontrollably, drawing even more ire from my dad. He ended up beating me, but I kept laughing even while being hit, which made him hit me even harder. Oh my gosh. No, that is something I wanna watch. I wanna see that. Oh, this is so rare for someone to be beating you and then you just keep smiling and laughing. I don't think I've ever gone through anything like that. I really wish I had just turned around calmly and said, "Yes, Father, I like porno, just like porno a lot." I think your response was pretty darn good. Oh. Another story is the time when my older brother and I stayed up till 3 a.m. telling stories about how stupid my father looked while riding a roller coaster and how he was so scared potatoes came out of his butt. We were around 10 years old and suddenly my dad burst into the room and screamed, "What are you talking about? It's 3 o'clock in the morning." Oh my god, there's more. My older brother in the meekest voice said, "Roller coasters." At which my father instantly yelled, "Roller coasters has balls." Oh, this is the best post. This sent my brother... Okay, let me... This sent my brother and I into the most violent laughing fits I've ever experienced. Eyes bugging out of his skull. Asian dad grabs both of us by the collar and marches us outside of the house. He slams the patio door shut and we're left freezing our arse off in the backyard, still giggling. We found an old rug rolled up on the side of the home and used it as blankets. This is the best. This is by far, I want to meet this person, whoever you are. This is too much. Oh my gosh. I think he's right more. Yes, please. This is too good. We're gonna have to end it on here. This is the best. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This person has nailed it. This is how you do it. He has potatoes falling out of his butt. This is perfect the way it is. Oh, this person, I want more of this. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. If you enjoy this, you better enjoy it after this story. If you enjoyed it and you like Asian parent stories, reacting to it, if you like some story times as well, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. I'd love to have you here. I also do other things such as trying new things, since I was deprived of that in my childhood, so now I'm going to make the most of it in my 20s. So if that is something that you are interested in, by all means consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, especially if you watched it all the way till the end. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and I will see you soon. Bye.